Kitchen at White Pines Wellness Center. We're here this morning to talk to you guys about making baby food. I'm just going to ask that if you could step back just a little bit, that way I can remove my mask and it makes it a little bit easier to hear me. Thank you. Just going to set that off to the side. So good morning, it's Arlie Harrison from Health Promotions. I'm the Healthy Lifestyles Coordinator, and this morning we'll be talking to you guys about making our own baby food at home. Right, so now our last step is our storage. So if you're using your food, baby foods, in the next day or so after you prepare it, it's fine to go in the fridge. Always make sure to save it into small containers, because once you've fed baby one item, you don't want to stick the spoon back in because the bacteria from their mouth will grow. So make sure it's in a nice small container. If you've batch cooked ahead of time and you'd like to freeze it, the easiest method to freeze is in an ice cube tray. So essentially all you're going to do is take spoonfuls of your food, and we're going to fill up the ice cube tray. This time we're using sweet potato. So we're going to use sweet potato in one side and we'll do peas in the other side so that they're easy to tell apart. It might be more challenging if you do sweet potato and carrot in the same tray. Once they're frozen, they'll look very similar. Always just give them a little tap on the bottom. It helps the liquid to settle to the bottom so that they fill the whole ice cube tray, and then you're going to pop them into the freezer. So here we are at the freezer. We have our nice food ready to be frozen. We let it cool down before we're going to put it in here. Oops. Okay, so we're just going to put it in there, and it's going to take a couple hours to freeze. All right, so once our food is frozen, we're going to get ready to get it out of the ice cube trays, and we're going to put it into individual Ziploc bags. So sometimes it's difficult to get food out of the ice cube trays, not as easy as it is to get ice out. So sometimes it's easier if you take your frozen food, you flip it upside down, and you use some warm water on the back of the ice cube tray, and that helps to loosen them. And then when it comes time to twist them out, they come out a lot easier. Always on the bag, so one food per bag, and we're going to write what the food is and the date that it was made. If you're using the food right away within 1 to 2 days, it's okay to leave it in a small container in the fridge, and you can use that to serve from for a couple days. But if you're saving it for longer, then frozen's your best bet. All right, so when you're ready to use your frozen food, you're going to remove it from the bag. So choose as many cubes as you need. Some babies, when they're first starting out, might only need 1 cube. As they start to progress, maybe they're eating 3 to 4 cubes per meal. You're going to take them out. You can take them out the day before, defrost them in the fridge, or you can put them in a little bit in a bag in some warm water to help defrost them as well. Just be careful if you are microwaving them. Microwaving baby food can give hot spots in the food. So make sure if you are using that method to stir it up really thoroughly and to temperature check with your finger in all different spots of the food before you feed it to baby, just to make sure that you're not risking burning their mouths at all. So rewarming them is pretty simple. You can also serve foods cold for baby as well. They don't always have to be hot, and then that gives them a different variety of temperatures that they can eat as well. Always remember too, when you're feeding food to baby, you're not going to feed them from a huge bowl. You're just going to get out the small amount that you need and feed from there, and then that way the spoon isn't going to get any extra bacteria back into the food. Most of these foods are going to freeze really easily, except for our banana and avocado. So our no-cook foods, sometimes they don't freeze as good, and they'll turn out to be very watery. So they're always good just on-the-go foods. And then when you go to feed foods, always be wary of allergies. So we're working on feeding 1 food per day, and then watching for any signs of allergies. So a rash, it might be difficulty breathing or swallowing, any sort of swelling. Be very careful if you see things like that. That can be an emergency. You might also see a change in their bowel movement as well. So watch for those things. If they have no signs of any allergy, then it's okay to move in and to add another food into their diet. And then once they have a wide variety of foods, you can begin mixing them together. So a good meal example might be doing some ground beef with quinoa and sweet potato for supper, and then having some fruit added in there as well. So again, different purees for different babies. It's great when you make your own food because you can customize it to what your baby's needs. So again, more pureed at 6 months, having more texture by the time they're getting to a year, to being able to eat food directly from your table. So that's baby food.